no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Woman pikin, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh, yo, yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout. Oh, yo, yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun the command of the masses. Oh, yo, yo, Maiyegun don't come.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. And this is Maiyegun live. Share the video. Thank you. You're far too kind. As you are joining the Temple of Truth tonight, remember to drop your offerings. That is, click like, share that video, and tell others that Maiyegun today.
Godfather is in. Maiyegun diary.
Thank you. Take your time to read the caption of the broadcast as well. So we start with how many people have been kidnapped by Fulanis in southern Nigeria that warrants Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Oloye Igboho, and the rest of the southern Nigeria to be asking for secession, that is to break away from Nigeria. That is coming from Sheikh Osama Gumi. I'm also going to pretty much talk about the unity beggars who don't want to talk about the truth as it is, but continues, as Gumi himself, continue to drop comments that keeps validating his immunity from arrest or investigation by Nigeria. Many people have been asking, what if all these utterances were made by somebody from southern Nigeria? It was the same Gumi that said there will be no school opened in northern Nigeria if Nigeria does not give what the Fulanis want, the Fulani terrorists want from Nigeria. It was also the same Gumi that told the whole world that if Nigeria wants peace, then they must be ready to part with money and land for the ravaging, invading Fulani terrorists in Nigeria. He's made many utterances. It's never been questioned for any.
And yes, we like. And yes, we like.
Tonight, I'm also going to discuss about the latest from Malami. He came out and he said that he's not ruling out the political dialogue in settling the issue of Oloye Igboho and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the Ilana Omo O'odua. They've responded. They said, to have any chat with you, first, take away the threat you are dishing out to Benin Republic and free Oloye Igboho, drop all charges, and then we can talk. Also tonight, I'm going to talk a little bit about IPOB. And I'm going to be very, very candid and sincere and honest with you at this point. Many of you will never like what I'm about to say or what I'm going to say because I can feel it. The division, the pretense, the attacks, and the rest of all those things that some of you are pretending not to be happening, it has taken a new dimension. When the DOS came out today through the IPOB to give an order that there will no longer be sit at home every Monday. And if there's anybody who tries to enforce that, they should be arrested. That has thrown a big ball of fire on here, and I'm going to share my own sincere view on that. And if you don't like me for it, enjoy it. You probably will like me for something else some other time. But trust me, you are going to appreciate me for it when I get to that stage tonight. I just thought I should warn you ahead. But for those who know Maiyegun very well, and my take on issues, especially if I really dedicate my time to explain things on issues, they will tell you, I want to listen to what Maiyegun has to say about this. Because from it, I can pick one or two things that will eventually help my judgment too. I mean, if you want to. So, Gumi said, and it's a question, by the way, according to him, he said, where is that, my screen grab? I'll read it out to you. Gumi said, and another thing, quotes now, and another thing I noticed in the South is that there is a disparity between the level of education and know-how. And when you have such disparity, conflict can never end because people can hardly understand each other. So the Fulani debacle in the southern Nigeria, it is capitalized by secessionist movements of Kanu and Igboho as one of the causes of the agitation for separation, Biafra and Oodua Republic. Evidentially, the crisis is another fallout of this same crisis. It's just a small screen. How many Fulani people have kidnapped people that will warrant secession? How many Fulani were massacred and killed in these states that will warrant secession? That's on quotes now from Sheikh Osama Gumi. According to him, why do we want to break away from Nigeria? Simply because of the insecurity brought about by the Fulani terrorists to the southern Nigeria. Of course, that's not the reason, the only reason why people want to leave the imbalance contraption called Nigeria. There are so many factors. And all these factors are as important, if not more important, than the Fulani invasion, because people can actually undo themselves. One of the reasons why people believe that if we actually really want to achieve our real potential as a people, with the current arrangements in Nigeria, if it is never changed, if it's not rearranged, it is better everyone parts ways and deal with their problem differently. Every region in Nigeria, according to what should have been, gave their sovereignty to the center in order to be in return, to be protected by that center. Protected financially, protected from any internal or external attacks. And every citizen should be treated as equal before the law. But that's not what you have in Nigeria. You have a situation whereby some Nigeria are more Nigerian than the others. Evidently, the Biafrans, over time, which initially led to a serious civil war, a genocide committed back then. And since then, what was meant to be no winner, no vanquish, as Gowon put it then, has turned to Cold War that you and I are very much witnesses to the profiling of the Igbos, their businesses, their everything, over time. And to the point that in that same Nigeria that's supposed to be a one equal Nigeria for all, Nigerians will tell you that they will never trust an Igbo man to be elected the president of Nigeria for some obvious same reason, profiling. Because some Nigerians are more Nigerian than the other. We have seen all this documented ethnic cleansing, ethnic profiling, evidently. In the scheme of things, even how the country is being run as well. The stakeholders, the decision makers. But that wasn't what they signed up for. So they said, restructure Nigeria back to what it was before 1966, before everything was completely destroyed, to what it is now. And everyone saying that has been labeled a terrorist as we speak. Now, as much as everybody seems to have been trapped in the contraption, the issue of a Fulani terrorism came. And it came to the point where people who chose to defend themselves are being hounded, they are being hunted down, killed, their properties burned, their villages ransacked by the Nigerian military for them standing up that they want to defend themselves. And if you ever, and in fact, it is a treasonable felony if you stand up to say protect yourself or you make a move to defend yourself in any part of southern Nigeria. In northern Nigeria, it's actually a common thing where they allow communities to mobilize, buy guns, protect and defend themselves as much as they can. But in southern Nigeria, it is considered a rebellion, a means for the southern Nigeria to harm themselves and fight the northern Nigeria, an impression that then puts every security, every defense idea of the southern Nigeria, or even the people, let's even leave the government, the people themselves, the idea of protecting themselves, that's same mindset of if you try to buy gun and protect yourselves as a southerner, you are buying that gun because you said you are buying that gun because you are afraid of a Fulani terrorist, right? Meanwhile, that Fulani you see with his cows and his AK-47 is not seen as a terrorist before the law. I mean, in the face of the law of Nigeria. So as a southerner, if you group yourself or you do it individually, buy yourself gun to defend yourself, you are a gun runner, a criminal, and you will be treated as a terrorist. That is an unwritten code as we speak. Now, that is what pushed most people to the edge. That was what brought about Eastern Security Network. I, as a person, I started listening to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, his real messages, his core pain, his core grievances. The reason why is every now and then, talking about Biafra, evangelizing and mobilizing, getting people to know why. I was one of those who actually got to know why. The marginalization that is so obvious, but they were so bold enough to talk about theirs. A peaceful IPOB is what I know. A peaceful IPOB is what I knew back then. And a peaceful IPOB through Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is still the same peaceful IPOB I know. I'll get to that stage of the latest development soon. People got pushed when it became a crime to even go after the assailants. We have evidence of over 1,748 illegal Fulani camps in Yoruba land alone. We have seen them kidnapped kings. We have seen them kidnapped prominent people in Yoruba land. We have seen them kidnap ordinary people. We have seen them kidnap lecturers, kidnap doctors, kidnap people, ordinary people that should be going about their normal businesses. We have seen them ransack the whole village, kill the entire village, and then, those who managed to escape are now refugees in Benin Republic. We have evidence of all of this. And we also have the evidence of when our people are not cowards, they are bold enough to stand up and go after them. Oloye Sunday Igboho came into the picture because of that. He came into the picture because of that. Before he came into the picture, there are already agitation for the Yoruba nation. But there was never a better time for an average Yoruba to believe that whatever arrangements our forefathers have with Nigeria, whatever political arrangement or political benefit they are getting from Nigeria, that contract has ended the moment they denied us the right to defend ourselves. There are Fulanis everywhere in Yoruba land doing their normal thing. There are Fulanis there in Lagos. There are Fulanis everywhere. But the latest development has shown us that those who choose to stay in the forest, they are doing no other things other than land grabbing and then a serious terrorism. But the system in Yoruba land, the system in southern Nigeria, operated by the same compromised political class, buried all those. If a state like Ogun State, who has these people currently in Benin Republic, they have been in Benin Republic since February 2021. If Ogun State, could underplay it? How come are you surprised if somebody from Yoruba land is saying, Maiyegun, stop ranting? You are just ranting. Because to him, it's just a rant. Because out there, all these are not happening. Sheikh Osama Gumi said, how many people have been kidnapped to make us get to say we want to break away? We peacefully said, let us protect ourselves. The political class came together. They put something together. They call it Amotekun. You deny them the right to be armed with the right, with the right ammunitions, protective gears to go after who they were set up to go after. Nigeria denied them that, incapacitated them. Not that they didn't have the capacity to do this, but Nigeria says with this limitation, you can't go beyond there, you can't go beyond there. Our people who resisted them in Abeokuta, in Ogun State, they had to go to Alamala military barrack or something. Abina or Nicolo, whatever. Alamala. They brought in soldiers into that same community for rejecting the grazing of cows by the Fulani terrorists in that community. They beat all these old people up. They whip them like small, like slaves. Our people went after, not because we didn't have the capacity. We do. But it's a crime to use it. And that is why the campaign, the clamor for every Yoruba son and daughter to realize the danger you are in, no matter what Nigeria is trying to describe. It is better to be on our own. We can't protect ourselves. Oloye Sunday Igboho came out, our people from the OPC, they mobilized themselves. They went after this terrorist in Oyo State. They captured their leader, Iskili Wakili, his two sons. And when they took them to the police, handed them over to the police, what happened? They got arrested. They got locked up. For over 4 months, they were locked up in Ibadan for going after Iskili, who gave them the right. That happened in Yoruba land. These are the pointers. These are the things. I was talking about Ogun State earlier. If Gumi is asking about how many people have been kidnapped, maybe we should show him this video of what the Fulani terrorists did in Ogun State. Ogun State, where Oloye comes from.
Due to that crisis, Fulani crisis that was occurred at our country. That's the reason why we migrated to this place. We are forcefully migrated to this place due to that. By force. By force. It's not by willingness. Women. Oh, man or women. How much are us, man or women? Only you. Are dying here. Both the women and men migrated from that area. No. And how much people died?
But I say how many people they kill there?
There are too many people. But that our many people. Many people have lost their lives. People are still migrating because of that. At Bodudu and other areas. What happened? It's because of the Fulani crisis. Fulani, they are killing the people anyhow. They are killing the people anyhow. They will move from any from one village to another. They will migrate from one place to another. They just keep people. That's the reason why the people are scared. They move down.
Those are Yorubas from Yewa in Ogun State. Communities, people, children, 10 women, right? Had to have emergency labor while they were running away in the forest on their way to Pobe in Benin Republic. But this is not making any headline in any front pages in Nigeria, I mean Yoruba land. Their media don't really see it as anything because they are more interested in 2023. So how many people have been kidnapped? How many people have been killed by the Fulanis that will warrant us to say we want to be on our own? It is this same way of not being allowed to protect ourselves that made them to start hunting down the IPOB members, hunting down innocent people that they know they don't have the arms to commit any crime. But since the moment they heard about the ESN, what did they do? They declared war on them. And since then, thousands of people, innocent people, have either been killed or locked up, missing, as we speak right now in eastern Nigeria, by the Nigerian military forces. Or Nigerian military force, or what do they call them? The latest one, you've heard that in places. And all these are reactions to those they believe are more dangerous than the Fulani terrorists who have the capacity to shoot down a fighter jet, right? They have the capacity to attack the military, the defense academy. They have the capacity to attack military bases, military barracks. They have the capacity to loot military hardware, weapons, and all that. They have the capacity to collect taxes from citizens of Nigeria in different communities of northern Nigeria. Or if you choose not to want to be part of that, you are more dangerous. You are more dangerous than the killers. And that's simply what it is. How they did something at Iyala. This video can be a little bit disturbing, but for goodness sake, what they were looking for, they said they were looking for unknown gunmen, ESN. You have seen videos where Nigeria military opened fire on, civilian community because they were looking for ESN. And that was the first time. And that was actually what eventually triggered them. Because that's the first, when ESN was launched last year. It was the first time they felt like the might and the voice and the strength of IPOB was about to be put to a real test. And they spread that message of, they put them together to fight us. That's what they said. They said they put ESN together to fight them. And therefore, they proscribed IPOB, declared them a terrorist organization. And then if they see anybody, just anyone, and according to them, by the way, every Igbo person is an IPOB member. They went to Iyala and they did this. I just want you to imagine tens and hundreds of communities, small communities from different parts of Igbo land that are going through just what you just saw right there. That is not the terrorist attack. That is the Nigeria military. That's how they are fighting ESN. That is how they are fighting IPOB. They got the reason, they got the excuse. The moment they found collaborators in Igbo land, to perpetuate all these criminalities you are witnessing in Igbo land today, the unknown gunmen, the killings and all of that, all that stage to this point. And I remember, and I'll keep saying it, I remember when I first came out here to say, I was looking at some of these videos, I was looking at some of these pictures of and the news and the stories, everything about these unknown gunmen. How come unknown gunmen suddenly came after the establishment of ESN? There was never anything unknown gunmen. This doesn't make any, and I started following up. And I remember first time I came out here to actually talk about it. And I remember many of you then who probably said, I had no idea of what I'm talking about. You see, maybe I should have been more explicit about what I meant then. Yeah? There are many people, as we speak today, that have tapped into the free money they are moving in Eastern Nigeria. The only viable organization that can indeed break Biafra out of Nigeria is the IPOB. No joke. And for those who will carry out so many criminalities under that guise, since they are going to be under the tutelage of the criminal governments that will let that happen, I think I should have been more explicit by saying, just like I said then, that the IPOB I know, the peaceful IPOB I know, right? And with all the tracks and then, the links and the traces of all the activities of the of the unknown gunmen, as they call them, there was never any correlation. And I remember how some of you wanted to hit me raw. Maiyegun, they deserve it. I said, don't celebrate it. Don't. They don't make any sense. They don't. And I gave all the examples, I gave all the analysis, and eventually people came around to say, Maiyegun is like, I get what you mean now. So since many of us were celebrating unknown gunmen, giving them different appellation on the one hand, which is that they are violent, right? On the other hand, we want to all cuddle and say, no, IPOB is not violent. You can't have it both. You can't celebrate unknown gunmen and at the same time don't want them to tag IPOB violent. So maybe it was not so clear when I was putting that out then, that don't celebrate this violence. Don't support any violence, right? Don't give them any validation. Don't give them any backing. Social media is so wide. And with what we have today, right? People believe that social media influences what happened out there, which I just don't fully believe. When these guys who knows how social media reacts, when they stage their state-sponsored attacks in Eastern Nigeria, and you grab it and say they've killed 2 policemen, they have shot 2 soldiers, they have sent them to heaven, all these people who are killing our people, they have killed them and all of that. Yours is to celebrate it, yeah? Yours is to tell the world and then, survey, what do you call it? Enjoy that. But what you are doing is you are validating why they continue to kill innocent people. And I said, don't celebrate them. That is what I'm also going to say today to those of you who have now come to the point where you don't know, but I will tell you, and I know maybe within days, this whole thing will also fizzle out. It will begin to make sense to you. At first, I have promised myself, let me tell you this. I have promised myself that I will never publicly, openly criticize anyone who is doing their best, no matter how little, no matter how high, fighting the injustice in Nigeria. I don't want to mind how you do it. You get what I mean now? As long as you stand up for something that is against the injustice, against the impunity, and against everything called the establishment called Nigeria, anything that will make a difference and change from what has brought us to this level, you are my friend. That's why I don't have, I'm comfortable with when I speak to Oloye, when I speak to other people with different opinions, when I speak with people who actually want a different Nigeria, it is the same way. It simply means the same establishment that dragged us to this level, right? If all of us finally realizes that that is the problem, right? And not those individuals only, yeah, then we are going to have a possible way forward. And I've also learned something too, that in this line of hobby, because I can't say it's this line of work, because I can't call this work, but in this line of hobby of mine, you have to know that people can't have it both way, good and good all the time. And what do I mean by that? When I said don't build expectation, when you listen to Maiyegun's diary Politico, it is for your own good. Because if you build expectation, you are likely going to want to make me, as they say, people you don't like, you would expect me not to like them because you don't like them. People you like so much, you would want me to like them so much because you like them. And why? Because you like me. That is an expectation that will come with a disappointment. You know why? The people you like, I don't know why you like them, right? But my message will touch everyone, that what I say may kind of make you not comfortable. But if you actually pay attention, it is for your own good. It is for your own mental health. Let me tell you something. I have found out that some of us who are privileged enough to have one or two people to listening to us, right? If we are very, very kind of mindful of this, we will know that in this world of today where information is duplicated, information is manipulated to get people misinformed in a way for a certain agenda or that agenda, right? When people find a space where they can say, I can rely on that information from that person, I can rely on the information from this platform, we should not take it for granted too. I mean, in my own case, I'll be as sincere as usual. Do not celebrate anything that gaslights you. Just same way I told you never to celebrate the criminals who are perpetrating criminalities in Eastern Nigeria, because none of them has any relationship or contact with IPOB that I know. And then Senator Abaribe, who came out and he said, if everyone is indeed mindful of the development in Biafra, in Igbo land, you will realize that there are more than 20 groups, right, who are also agitating for Biafra. The only prominent and credible among them and peaceful among them is IPOB. And they have what they call the DOS. I'm still coming to them too. But I picked something up, which is going to be the beginning of what I'm about to talk to you about this evening. Who are these guys, ladies and gentlemen?
Asa society, Asa society, Asa society. Nigerian government is out of place. Nigerian government is out of place. Nigerian government is out of place. No, they go no say.
I wish you people there.
No, they go no say.
I wish you people there.
No, they go no say.
I wish you people there.
Attention, attention, attention. Today, being 10th of November 2021, we, the angry vipers of Biafra land, have noticed that the governors, senators, local government chairmen, House of Representatives, and all political holders in Eastern region have concluded to play pranks with the lives and well-being of all youths in the Eastern region. You people no longer have regards for the precious lives destroyed daily by these infidels. We hereby give you a 21 days ultimatum to ensure that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released unconditionally and resign from your positions without further delay. Failing to do so, we shall have no other option than to declare you all wanted, dead or alive, anywhere, anytime. For all kings and chiefs in our land, we have decided to reduce yourselves to less than used sanitary pad. You are now being toyed about by uncircumcised Fulanis due to your idiocy and bribery. We, the angry vipers, are giving you 21 days to leave our land, unless Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is released. For Obi Kubana and co, who are closely working with the killers of our youth, you and your crew made sure that Fulani Abakiari returned to Anambra State. You will hear from us. From now onwards, we will put a stop to any form of tax and revenue in markets, road transport such as bike, vehicle and sundry within the Biafra land. Henceforth it shall be bloody. All hell shall be let loose. This very press statement is irrevocable.
Asa society. Asa society. Asa bua. Bua.
I don't know those guys. Okay? I don't. And there are people who actually believe that we should stop all this talking. We should just stop all this talk. They need action. I'm not saying you can't make action happen. All right? But you can just be like those guys too. What I don't want you to mix up is this. Somebody was trying to correct me there earlier that IPOB is not the only credible and peaceful Biafra movement in Eastern Nigeria. I'm so sorry if that possibly doesn't give credibility to others by that statement, so I'll take it back. Or I would rather say IPOB is the only Biafran movement that I know of, right? That is peaceful and coordinated, credible enough for you to say you can hold their leader and you will still see legal representatives from all over the world coming out to say they will represent him. I don't know many of them. There are many, but IPOB seems to be the biggest. And they have always been peaceful. There are some of you who love because some also like to live in denial. I don't like following that idea of creating alternative reality. Do not. And just like I said from the beginning as well, this I am talking about right now is actually not to discredit any one of you yet. It's just to possibly tell you or call your attention to what this is likely going to end as. Okay? We need action. Maiyegun live story. We want action. We want this. It's great. I would love to see it too. But who is going to order for that action? If you have found somebody who can indeed, call tens of thousands of people to volunteer like Nnamdi Kanu did on ESN. Some of you don't like what the DOS are doing right now. And let me tell you something. Do you want to know what? I don't like what they are doing too. Because I want to believe that the people that are in position in that DOS of IPOB, they should understand the magnitude of what they are holding and why dialogue, reconciliation, and some sort of responsibility, leadership responsibility from them that will reflect the feelings of the people they lead. So I would say maybe they haven't handled this properly. But if you say we need action, Maiyegun, I want to see action too. If your action, is going to stop the daily killings of innocent people, the arrest, the harassment, and all of that, if your action is going to stop that, then who is going to give the order? Because in my own opinion, you can have it both. Yes, you can. You can have it both in the sense that those who prefer diplomacy, diplomatic way of dealing with it, in IPOB, let them deal with it. And for those who have the other way of dealing with things, who knows that they have the capacity to call out and say, I need 100,000 people, like Nnamdi Kanu did, that gave birth to ESN. Nnamdi Kanu called ESN, and he could possibly have said, I am declaring Biafra with these tens of thousands of volunteers. We saw them, we saw the video, we saw their camps, we saw everything. We saw their training, and they were meant to be in the forest going after the Fulani terrorists. They were not put together to fight Nigeria. They were not put together to threaten the lives of anybody. They were not put together. I remember vividly. But if that has changed, if all of you feel like now that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is not here, and you think most of the people who are handling the case or handling the whole issue, if you think they have compromised, you don't have to tear down the house. You can just open a branch. Why not? Because some of you are so strong on social media. Honestly speaking. But you are still doing it under the name of IPOB. We love our leader. We love our leader. We want this. We want that. But what you are choosing and you are promoting is violence. If nobody has told you. And if you are probably so kind of, coward enough not to be bold enough to say it. Because what happened now is that somebody needs to take a more drastic action. Because these guys there right now have compromised. If that is your theory, that somebody can be anointed by any of you. You have the army on social media. But make it real. Instead of tearing yourselves apart. I remember when that takes me back. That takes me back to this. Where is that comment again? Just a moment. Yeah. As much as I like to listen to your program, you are too fixated on this DOS Biafra issue to the extent of using foul language like what the fuck on people with different opinions. Once you start becoming repetitive with your program on a daily basis because of Biafra DOS, many people will start losing interest in your show, in which I am one of them. So here is another one. Maiyegun, I have been listening to your program since the days you broadcast from your kitchen. But today's episode, I don't really like it. My advice to you is to stay away from DOS and Simon Ekpa matter. It's better you talk about Biafra and Nigeria. Apply wisdom. That's what the other part of that communication is. Fixated. Is that what you call it? Oh, I am fixated because I have seen people's lives taken when many of you too saw that And to this day, apart from these guys we saw with guns now who covered their faces and they made that video in the forest, and apart from many, many of you like me, the only difference is that I'm not sitting down here and telling people that I am working to raise an army to defend Yoruba land when I am not working on any army. I am working with some people. They are bringing in some weapons. They are bringing in this and that. Yoruba people should not worry. We will fight for you when I'm not actually working with any goddamn person. I am not like that. But like many of you who sit down comfortably in your different places all over the world, I am yet to see you, yeah, like Nnamdi Kanu did from London. You know, Nnamdi Kanu was not in Nigeria when ESN started last year. From London, he gave the order and he said, I want people to volunteer. And you saw the video, you saw thousands of people from all over Biafra land who volunteered with their coordinators and all of that. That is exactly what I would love to see you do. Instead of the social media bragging, the social media, I will do this. I remember what make people like me. Let me try and remind some of you. What actually make people love Maiyegun, right? From the word go, is my ability, to break news, to break information on social media when majority of the media houses in Nigeria have no clue. I started that 8 years ago. 8 years ago. And it was so good. I was so good with giving people this kind of information. It wasn't this bad like terrorism and all of that, where people can make up stories just to to appeal to your fear, then make you feel like, hey, Chineke and all of that. Back then, it was like people were asking, this Maiyegun, where you they get all this story? Where you they get all this news? Where you they get all that? That was the primary thing that actually got people to like Maiyegun from the onset 8 years ago. And today, yeah, the reason why most people now say, I actually like Maiyegun is because from experience, I have seen that it is so convenient to make mouth on social media, especially if you have the, yes, man, carry go, my brother. Well done. You are this. You are that. Until I saw Mazi Nnamdi Kanu give an order and he said, I want 100,000 men to defend Biafra land against Fulani terrorism. And they all came out voluntarily. That was when I was like, oh boy. There's some levels to these things. So I can still use my access to information and tell you things that will happen. Put them in a way without having to arrogate any kind of unnecessary importance to myself. If I cannot command 10,000 people to come out in London tomorrow and they will come out because I don't have that capacity, forget it. So all of you who are the keypad warriors, DOSDs, Simon Ekpa, that, why can't you just do this? Make it rain. Let it happen. Somebody like me will report it. If they say next week 100,000 Biafrans are going to do this or do that, I'll be looking forward to it. I'll promote it. But if what I'm going to tell you is going to rise you up, and eventually when the bullet comes, I'm just going to come back and say, they have killed us again, oh. And people will say, but what happened to your last broadcast where you told us that there are some ready-made army? Men, people, they are just waiting for the order. Since the man we're supposed to give us the order, no day. And the people who are supposed to do it now and get us out of this whole mess are already compromised. They are already sabo. Can't all of you who said we should do it different way? I'm just saying, like, I will support you. I'll talk about it. Let's see. Call out and say people should come out. And I told people, I said, listen, when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was not in their custody, it was a little bit fair game. And they were a little bit worried too, being careful. Because Nnamdi Kanu is not there and he has an army that they don't have the real data. And they don't have the idea of what they could possibly turn to. And they are worried and scared. But the moment they have Nnamdi Kanu in their custody, they have the upper hand. If nobody has told you that, they have the upper hand. Listen, the worst case scenario is that a civil war will break out. Do you really think that is a good thing? And do you really think that your imaginary Biafran army, the ones that can take Nigeria down, the ones that the DOS will never allow you to use, do you really think they are ready, genuinely, between you and me, to protect the civilians, the vulnerable men and women, like that woman crying whose house was burned down? Do you really think that your imaginary army, they are ready to defend her? Do you think? Or you are just going to just talk about her and use the anger you get from the video to promise us another threat? We'll do this, we'll do that. You don't have to tear yourselves down for that. Do it. Make the call. Since they have Nnamdi Kanu, the first effort is to get him out of that place. It is the game changer. Because the worst case scenario is that if anything happens right now to Nnamdi Kanu and people should react, they will kill and kill until possibly they will trigger a civil war. And that is their primary agenda. But for somebody like me, we don't like violence. I don't promote it and I don't support it. But looking at people who are the target of our utterances too, when we have nothing to back it up, that worries me. And I'm not even trying to judge you. I'm just saying, do it now. And if you can actually do it under a different name that gives you a better sorry, I don't know what you mean by that, Zeke. You're sending me do you think people send money to Naira and put 3 million each on people's heads? I don't get that, by the way. Or maybe if you can rephrase, maybe I'll get it. There's no point in tearing yourself. It's not I keep saying it is not a competition. Nnamdi Kanu need to come out of there. And anything that can be done in a peaceful way should be done to mount the pressure. I support that. But do you really think if people start, if all of you who have the capacity on social media, all of you who are the big men on social media, who have the idea of how this is going to go, right? Do you think if you start fighting, then you are just going to wake up one morning and they will just push Nnamdi Kanu out for you? Because what I found is this. You see that sit at home of a thing that has become controversial, right? It has become voluntary. Every Monday, people sit at home. Like, I've seen that. Like, people always sit at home. And that is what the IPOB said today. They said, if people want to sit at home in support of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, let them sit at home. Please, stay at home if you want to every Monday until its release. If you don't want to, of course, you can also go about your normal business, but that has angered so many Biafrans, and I kind of understand. But you know, one thing is this: